Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing good. This is my mood today. you know, Not a sheep. Oh, I had somebody call me that, about 6 years ago. And speaking of 6 years ago, there used to be a Channel Richie from Boston. And a long time ago, I said, I'm going to start saying like he does when I say, hi, YouTube. That's what he used to do on his channel, and I thought, what a charming way to say hi to everybody over the internet here. So it's not out of copycatness, not giving them credit. It's out of admiration for that, So if any of you watch Richie, here's to Richie. um, I'm going to be talking about uh, and we might have some interruptions we'll work through. I'm going to be talking about similarities that are in all religions, including Satanism. Really. And if some of you don't know, I was adopted, trafficked twice by the Dark Cabal, the Masons. I was sold one time. 2 weeks later, I was brought back injured to the orphanage and sold again. And the different things that I had been through in my childhood that they thought was funny. And that's one reason, real quick here, why I will not hide my scars. These fuckos, there's no human word for these creatures, need to see exactly what they did. And I'm not putting any makeup on to sugarcoat the sacrifice they tried to make out of me. And that's what I'm talking about today. The things that I uncovered in the Blue Lodge, viruses, scriptures, different things that were twisted that then they started teaching me, Jesuits and 3-time over Grand Pass Master, 33rd degree, the one who raised me. And I learned from watching him, of all things. But and that's a long story anyway. I ended up leaving. Well, I tried to leave at 5, but I didn't really make it out of the state until I was 15. I made it from Minnesota to Florida and then got busted, and they kept putting APBs out on me. And finally, when I was 15, I was able to get a job in the school system, get my own place, and get emancipated by the state. It took almost 2 years for that court case to go through. So at 17, I was finally emancipated from the Dark Cabal. And that started my hatred fight on this planet. And I went out and I wasn't polite about it with their affiliated groups that are all major religions, including Satanism. Believe what you want. Now, I am not saying there is not a God. I know there is. So don't ever think that what I'm saying is uh like I think I created myself, or I created the first raindrop, or I put people here in their skins, or whatever. Um, I'm not taking an arrogant air to my knowledge. I'm trying to reach people with the truth of these major religions. And you've heard um, here's the body, here's the blood. And by the way, in case for the record, whether it matters or not, I'm also a licensed ordained minister, a licensed contractor in my state, and a few more other um, pertinent abilities that gives me a little bit of insight on a lot of what's going on. So anyway, getting back to the sacrifice, communion, rituals, hymns, prayers, spells. Um, you know what I heard the Pope of the Satanic Church say that is really reminiscent of how, I mean, if you're going to preach on a pulpit and you're going to tell people, well, shame on you and whatever, wouldn't you teach these people not just the commandments or the seven deadly sins, which people fucking ignore all day long, all the time? It's never brought up. Neither is that Christ can't be found in the church. It says it right in the scriptures. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, if you carry that spirit, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'll get back there in a minute. I get a little wound up. It just, a lot of this really pisses me off, and I am in the position to take it out on the, I mean, to not just, not just retribution, but I have the ability for revenge to even go unnoticed. But I'm not doing that. I'm giving people a chance in my life. Okay, back to the shame thing. If you're walking with a conscience and the Word of God is written on everybody's heart, there's the golden rule. We all know that one. If you don't, it's do unto others like you'd have done unto yourself. Simple, right? Well, why is there so much shame? And like I said, I even heard this in a satanic congregation. I'm learning ancient Greek, and the only place that I could find that, and I wanted to hear the real Septuagint from the ancient Greek, not the 1200 AD changed Hebrew text going into this one, that one, taking away vowels, adding vowels. I have videos on that. What I'm saying is fact. And yes, it does matter that our scriptures have been hijacked and changed the meaning of words in there and meanings of there's no instruction out of these people that say they preach. There's preaching. They're talking at you, not to you. You know? Big difference. So, I mean, if you're walking with a conscience, I mean, the second you do something, second by second, you know exactly what you're doing. And that's why I'm really against the mental health community, which I've trained and studied in psychology in a big way and worked as a paraprofessional and a counselor. So going into the mental health community and trying to reach my peers and asking them, why are you calling what is actually the personification of evil, which is the dark tetrad? It was a triad. Now it's a tetrad to include sadism with psychopathy and narcissism and whatever those traits are that are encompassed, which they call the cluster B, like borderline and schizophrenia, those ones. So anyway, so why are they trying to take something that is entirely dark and give it a pretty little name like a mental illness? Because it isn't one, it's a fucking choice. Every day these people get up, they know just what they're doing. They put their shoes on, pants on, just like we do, breathe the same air, and make the same decisions. If they go into the workplace, they know that there's a certain way that they have to operate in schools, in wherever they go. They can't act like they do behind closed doors or to people that they get secluded because this is that cabal of darkness, and their affiliates. So that's where it comes down to where I'm saying with this shame thing. Yeah, I mean, preach that if we do something stupid, but I haven't done anything in my life that I would not do exactly the same way. So if you're shameless like that too, and you love God and you don't let these fuckers guilt trip you like that, that's just part of the church's shame game. And then what? Are you going to give them like, what, 5% of your income to have another human being tell you you're dirty? Not tell you how to help yourself out of the, um, like depressions you might get in, or insecurities that make people do stupid things because we're conditioned when we're little people to carry this shame that is not ours, and what I just said, it hits home. You know it for a fact, don't you? And nobody's carrying that. That's something God eliminates. And even Christ was said to be your go between, to seek the face of God, period. There's nothing after that. He's there to get you there if that's what you need. I don't believe that for myself. I believe I've been guided since I was a baby orphan. Maybe that's why, because, you know, it gives you a little bit of a different edge and a little different um, feeling of seclusion that most people don't have from the very beginning, you know. So that's a little bit about what's going on inside my head today, you know. Yeah, shame. Shame on you. I heard satanic person say shame on you, and I'm thinking, fuck, what? It's not what, do what you will and there is no shame, or shame on me. Make up your in mind. For real, dude. Which is it? Shame on me or shame on you? Hey, we can all pick each other apart all day long. Let's go for it. In fact, let's spar. Let's eliminate the words and just get down to the raw fucking hatred of the situation. Here I am, Pine City, Minnesota. I got a big yard, if you feel so inclined. Either as friends or enemies, either way is cool with me. I do love to spar. I'm talking mixed martial arts. I'm not talking anything simple for you, you know? Seriously. Like I said, either as a friend or a foe, it doesn't make any difference to me. That's how I operate. I go by how somebody else is going to be on that same level, and then there you go. You get what you give. I like that song. It's good. I'm going to have a hit of my weed with you. I'm a little wired. I have had a few hits. I got up pretty early, started doing laundry and dishes and feeding them outdoor kitties I take care of. So, yeah, I'm a cat lady. Just the old cat lady. Yeah, it's Call Me Scarface. Isn't that a good one? Yeah, I think so. Hey, I've even been bit in my face. Yeah, I have. I've had some really weird things happen to me. It was always by somebody that I let close to me. I've always been pretty guarded, so it would have to be somebody that had gotten in with enough trust and then was used by the dark force, which is usually everybody that comes around me because I have a lot to say about stuff, you know, everything. Cheers. So, anyway, and I'd rather dance than fight anyway, but I don't have a dance partner. I dance by myself occasionally. I put a lot of miles on today just getting stuff done. Even I do these weird things. I do have OCD, so but I do these weird things like if I could make it across the kitchen with something I need to do and I could do it in one trip, I might make two. It's not just my OCD either, it is my activity level. It's like, and I didn't get my push ups and leg exercises in today, but I could feel that I really didn't need to because I was doing pretty good just trying to get my shit done around here because I had worked into the night last night sweeping and mopping and doing some making a big meal and cleaning it up, all that. So anyway, yeah, but okay, so after I was trained by my dad and his friends, and I saw white paper schematics, Project Bluebeam, all the major religions, languages, how to use their Blue Book, Strong's Concordance, the King James New Testament, and it has to be no older than a 1921 Merriam-Webster dictionary. And with those tools, you can read the code that is in the dictionary, and it tells you where a word went, where it came from. There's little symbols. It's coded. You can see like a line under a noun, or you'll see an S for Spain or an L for Latin. It'll say Latin 2. That means that this definition that you go and look up in Latin then and translate back into English is going to be the second definition that you are looking for. If you go in to say it says Spanish 3, same thing, then you're looking for the third definition of that word, and it could say adjective, ADJ, and then have a line under it. That means that you have to go to the country. If it says like France, that's where you're going to go, and that's going to be the definition of the meaning of that word that is used in them scriptures that have been twisted. I have it all written down. I have it in my very old dictionary that I'm not going to grab right now, but I've made videos on this before, so that's where my studies lie. And it's way deeper than many scholars even understand. And I'm not just talking one language. I'm talking Hebrew, German, um, I can translate the French with the side by side one. I'm pretty fluent in my Latino languages. Took 2 years of Spanish, that helped. And lived down south for a few years, that helped. Um, so, I mean, what I'm telling you is the absolute truth. Then my adopted dad did try to get out of the lodge, and we had people like I refer to as the men in black come into our house, and God knows what. And even kind of, he was trying to make me hide one night because some people were after him. And he really was. He just wanted to pay his dues and be left alone, but they wouldn't let him do that. Spooky, huh? Real shit. I'm telling you the truth. And I know he did things that he regretted, you know. And if he didn't regret them, I would make him regret them. That's how I mean, these people didn't just do things to me and get away with it. Don't get me wrong. It's not like that at all. I ruined them. They actually had to move because of me and their reputation. And it didn't help because the things they did to me, you don't do that to a person and think you're just going to get away with it, even if the court system won't help me. I found my own way to deal with things, and I get things done like that. So about 20 some years ago now, and I've been online for about 30 years with AOL and a lot of other things. I'm pretty fluent in software application, and I can rebuild towers, and I know a little bit. I lived with the first in-home computer system, IBM, the first in-home one, which was pretty cool. But anyway, getting back to the fact that they don't get away with things. So I contacted uh, the grandest lodge in the United States, and the headquarters of the whole thing started and originated in China. A lot of people don't understand that the Freemasons were never even meant to be, and there's nothing noble about them. The nobility of the whole thing that started with like Rosicrucian and Knights Templars um, got a pretty bad name, bad rap in some situations, but they were supposed to carry knowledge of our history and our technology and bloodlines and all that type of thing, which they still do without letting people know. But they were told back before they started twisting those texts and those scriptures that the lodge in, I can't remember the name of it, it's in London, England, and that was supposed to be the last one. Nothing was ever supposed to come over into the New World. Their influence within governments was supposed to stay in Europe and end there. And I've seen the documentation to all this. What I'm telling you is absolute truth. So these people are just bastards of their own system, you know. So they pay their dues. They can go and do anything, just like the great little Talmud people, because that's what they're all about. The Zionists, Judaism, Satanism, the whole smear. That's why I don't follow anybody except God. And people that have God in their heart. Even if they don't know all of it, what I'm telling you is out there now. And I've been out here saying these things even when Facebook first started up. I had um I break horses. I had a business called Gentle Full. Not gentle, but gentile. Isn't that funny? So anyway. And the Gentiles get the word of God first. You know what? It's written on our hearts. That's why in Judaism and the rest of these clowns, they don't have it. And they're not listening. And their temples were destroyed twice before and will be again because of that. Because they don't listen in their hearts where it means the most. They think their scriptures, their books, their rituals, and everything else is going to clean their souls. It's not going to help. So they're going to have to go through the wash again, you know? Yeah. Well, I think that's probably good for today. I just wanted to go over a little bit of my history with people and give you a little bit of insight of the depth of what I really know to be fact because I lived through it. And I'm telling you the truth, you know? And I didn't just study major religions, I participated, you know, so, either willingly or unwillingly. You know, I was confirmed in a Lutheran church, took 3 years of confirmation classes. That was the first time I read the Bible in its entirety. That was from 12 to 15. Then after that, 6 different times entirely and in other languages, multiple ones for the understanding that I had to have. And it's like libraries, I was closed in my church. These people knew I could carry all this, you know. I had my hands on skin oracles, these books about like that and like that, talking about some really heavy stuff of how they're going to basically try and control the spirit of God, whether that's coming through female or the male, just trying to take control over human beings with God in their hearts and weaponizing love against us, you know, that type of thing. It's pretty horrible, but that is what happens. And a lot of people, like, they're conditioned to do stupid things when they're little, and then these conditioning mechanisms keeps it going because shame on you forever, you know, like just you can't just get over it and you learnt your lesson. No, no. You might not make it to heaven. You might not ascend unless you kiss Grand Pooba's butt. You know, no, it's not like that at all. That's my belief. So anyway. All right, everybody. I love you all. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at. And my new subscribers, thank you so very much.